Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and today we're going to talk about the newest album from Katie D, Mydata. So this is the third full-length album from the Australian singer-songwriter, and it's her second for the Boston-based record label Run for Cover Records. Katie actually first caught my ear years back with the release of her debut EP, Asdf, a really strange combination of like art pop, electronic, and noise that really didn't sound like anything else when it came out at the time. It was like abstract, sweet, and strange, like all at the same time. And I think she actually went on to improve on that sound a little bit with a slightly more varied full-length debut, Flood Network. Certainly an acquired taste for most listeners, I'm sure, because of how ear-piercing a lot of the sounds were on that record. And her last LP, Solid Sisters, was pretty decent for a follow-up, but didn't hit me as hard as those first two releases overall. Although I will say Stuck is probably still one of my favorite KDD tracks to come out so far. So here we are at another full-length album over here, and we do get some guest production on it from Ada Rook of Black Dresses fame. So I mean, going into this, I was really excited, but leaving it, unfortunately, I was left not that excited. I will say there are some noticeable improvements on the recording on here and in the vocal department. Katie's voice rings through with a lot more clarity this time around, almost a complete 180 comparative to her earlier material, where she buried and obscured her vocals so much it was like really difficult to discern what was her singing and just like other background noise. But I do feel like that did add to the abstract nature of the music overall. And I mean, on this new LP, the way that these tracks are structured in such a linear fashion, I mean, they're almost monotonous. I mean, when I kicked off this album, I got about halfway through it, and on each track, I feel like I was just waiting for the songs to progress in any sort of way outside of like a really stark minimal beat and some kind of like, you know, minimal flourishes of instrumentation here and there. But I mean, that just doesn't happen. Take the track Happiness, for example. I mean, that track was honestly just like a chore to sit through with absolutely no payoff, in my opinion. And the track Leaving does have a little bit more of an interesting beat that's a lot more watery sounding, which is pretty cool. But again, I mean, by the time the track is over, I just feel like it didn't go anywhere. And I mean, the track Closeness is barely even a song in general. So I mean, overall, I mean, there wasn't really anything on this album that stood out to me, unfortunately, and it just kind of feels like all the original appeal of Katie's music has been completely evaporated and swapped out for something that's just not as interesting overall. And you know, with that being said, I'm feeling a 3.5 over here on Mydata. Now, if you did enjoy this album, Run for Cover Records does have it up for pre-order on multiple variants through their web store, and they always do an absolutely fantastic job with their vinyl presentation. So there's a ton of colorful presses up here. I'll put up in an image if you want to see those, and links are down below in my description box if you want to grab it. But if you did listen to this new Katie D record, what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and share, and if you want more content from me, hit that subscribe button. Peace.